game one against Leftovers, the reverse sweep Kings.
That's true.
And if we're going to have a reverse sweep here, Karma thinks it's going to come from Method. We're all certainly not too sad if it does go to a game 3, Shogun.
No, we are certainly not. Been very few of those so far today, but never argue against a good old game 3. Maybe not even argue against a good old game 5, which we'll be getting into tomorrow. Remember, quarterfinals and semifinals tomorrow are best of 5, grand finals best of 7, and we will be looking forward to that. Hopefully we will see you here tomorrow for those, as we are going to be focusing our efforts on Method versus Aero Kings. The first 30 seconds down now, and both these teams just trying to start controlling around the field. As Solif will put it into the corner, and there's going to be a long time. Method choosing to just allow it to roll, and it's going to result in Radio having an opportunity to take a pop shot to the top left-hand corner. And there we go. Method find themselves down. Karma starting to look very correct here.
Yeah, Karma's grinning ear to ear. She thinks she might be right. And I don't blame her. That was some really nice positioning at the far post by Radio. He knew that the ball was almost certain to clear across that angle, and he had it covered with time to spare, even throwing a backflip shot for good measure.
And Radio, I believe, has been on quite a few top teams. I think he's played with MRVN, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of teams around for him, so he's a very experienced player, but at the same time, a lot of experienced players have struggled to break into what is a hotly contested top of the European pyramid. But this is a good as opportunity as any. As Solif and Cheerio both work together to push this straight into the side, but Method will be very almost methodical. I don't mean that pun intentionally. It's just the way that they do seem to play, taking their time, pull defenses apart.
But the answer to our question has come through. How are Aero Kings going to start this? Well, they're going to take it to Method. They're not interested in waiting for Method to make the mistake and beat themselves. They want to beat them in their half, forcing that mistake. And that is something I respect. They are not wanting to go out without a fight. They want to play the game on their terms, and right now that is working. Cheerio doubles the lead. Again, Method struggling with the very basic center ball.
Yep, once again comes out. There was almost no need for Magnus to go for that. He would have known that it was going to bounce immediately off the side, but no one there, and it almost seems like there is no challenge right now on any of these Aero Kings balls. So honestly, why not just keep going for it? At this moment in time, Method are too slow. They just seem to be almost in a recovery phase, just still bouncing back from that previous loss and just putting everything too basic that it's now no longer really operating on an elite level. As that's a lovely shot by a lot. I believe, Johnny, that that is a boomer.
That is a boomer. That is a zinger. It's anything you want to call it. That was a fast shot. He had a lot of time and he just slams it right over the top of the goalkeeper's head. Pre-jump necessary to save that one, and there was none in sight. Method back in the game, but still one more goal required if they want to tie this up and look to get game 1 in their favor. Will Aero Kings continue to push up aggressively now with Method getting a goal in their favor?
Well, that goal can always be pretty jolting, but I think we have the answer right there. Solif looking to try and push that one straight through. As now Aero Kings are going to find themselves a little bit further back, but well done by Radio, using that side of the wall to keep the ball up high. And Metznaris will be the player on Method that we will look to really step up and control the pace of the game. But so far, he seems like he's out of boost almost all the time, incapable of really affecting the game too much.
And I don't think Method are respecting the aerial capability of the Aero Kings, as a few times now they've lobbed the ball forward, hoping that there will be no challenge coming through. But there is indeed, as Magnus looks to hit the ball right into Metznaris for the point-blank range pinch. Unfortunately for them, they will not connect on this occasion. Still plenty of time and plenty of opportunities starting to create themselves. Metznaris was on net, but now there's no defense. And the ball will go in. Cheerio end to end. Another lapse in concentration causes an easy goal. A lot more concerned with boost stealing than defending the net.
And Cheerio, I think if there was any more risky way of him taking that shot, he would have to tell me, because he could have just pushed it with the front end of his car straight into the net.
I don't think he realized how open it was.
I think that's the case for a lot of players. You play against these top teams, it's like, okay, the rotation is always going to be as best as it can possibly. There's no way they can ever make a mistake. Oh my goodness, there's an open goal ahead of me. I'm just going to hit it really hard.
Yeah, I really don't think he expected a lot to take that really wide line, especially with the center ball coming in from Magnus and Metza already up for it. committing a third player to a boost steal in that situation is rare. Aero Kings have had so many opportunities here. They're connecting with the back wall of Method, and no one is there from Method to meet the ball on the half volley, which is so unusual at the highest level. These consistent back wall hits are often punished by half volley wall clears, which are currently not present in the Method strategy book. Only a minute left now. What are they going to do to try and get this game back in their favor?
Well, a simple factor of it is get some goals. They have got 2 goals to find and have really struggled to get themselves any opportunities on the net, as this might be an opportunity for Aero Kings to continue to increase their lead. This is finally going to be Metznaris. He's got the ball. He goes for the pass, but it was too close to the defenders. Could have done with cutting it further in field. And final 30 seconds here, and that is going to be a big goal for Method. They have now brought it within 1.
We saw Aero Kings take the lead with the far side being used, and now Metznaris is in that little pocket at the far post. Anything that drops down is his ball, and he booms it top right. 1 goal the difference. Game face on Linus. Will he be able to rally the troops? Under 30 seconds now. That's all that remains for Method to try and get back into game 1. 1 shot gets swatted away by Solith. 15 seconds now. Getting very close.
Oh, that's big.
All-in moves. Cheerio reactive defending in an extremely close position, but it will be rewarded. 5 seconds left. Will they be able to tie this game? Method, it doesn't look like it's going to be possible. A struggle to keep this ball alive, and it will die. Aero Kings take game 1. Karma called it. If there's going to be a game that these boys take against their arguably superior opponents, it's going to be game 1, and she predicted the way it was going to happen as well. They took it right to Method, pressured them into their half, caused problems, hit the backboard, made opportunities, and they took them.
But it must be said, that was not the Method I was expecting at all. What has changed here? Are we seeing different here to a Method we would see on an online tournament, say?
I just don't think that they're reading the back wall like they usually do. I've seen Method comfortably defend high balls, high passes off the back wall above their own goal with half volley wall clears or with just simple catches and carries down the wall. I've not seen any of that in this game 1, at least. They're letting the ball hit the back wall uncontested. We saw Magnus flailing a shot which was hitting the post flat. He thought it was going in, and that presented an open net for the 2-0 lead. They really just have to try and get a position to intercept these back wall passes, because that seems to be the only way that Aero Kings are trying to create chances. But why would they change it if it's working so well?
Exactly, and Aero Kings 1 game away now from knocking out Method, the former Secrecy, the former Resonant.
We can't stress how big an upset that would be.
It would be huge. An RLCS team going down to a bubble team would absolutely prove just how much depth Europe has. As Radio is going to try and look for it, but Solith unable to find him. Metznaris will continue to try and press this one forward. Method will need to come out swinging right out of the gate here if they want to try and stop the current momentum of Aero Kings, who just look very solid at reading each other's potential touches and reacting if ever a mistake is made. That is not a mistake by any stretch of the imagination. Solith is in the right place at the right time. 1-0, Aero Kings continue their domination.
It's a beautiful pass down from Radio. Solith making the run downfield, gives his teammate the option, and then they secure the goal with a really fast passing play. Last man back for Method, not even close to making an interception. Struggling Method team on the day. They continue to have difficulty in defense. That is the main problem for them right now. A position that they're usually not in. They're very used to counter-attacking playstyle. That is how they have given Flipside trouble in the past. And right now, that playstyle is nowhere to be seen, as we're just seeing possession giveaway after giveaway. That needs to stop if Method want to come back in game 2 and then win game 3 as well. That's the journey that they need to make right now.
There's certainly a lot of work to do. Radio tries to make it even more work. Solif will not be able to get that, so a lot. Was expecting a pass from Magnus. It's going to leave Magnus actually by himself because it was Metzenaris earlier, and a lot turns himself around and gets a big booming clear. Will continue to move this across. Magnus was too close to the ball, but there was going to be a follow-up by Metzenaris. Brave play by him, but crucial play at the end of the day.
This is very messy from Magnus. He whiffs the ball in defense, doesn't get up for the open net finish, and almost saves Metzenaris' shot on the goal line. This is not the cleanest we've ever seen from Method, but they're hanging on. They are finding goals, if nothing else. That's the third that they've scored this series. They just need to stop leaking goals in defense, which they really should have no business letting into their own goal.
Scrap, fight, and claw. Just get into day 2 in any way possible. Does not matter if it's pretty. It only counts as long as you win. As Magnus will take a shot that's directly at Solif. Holding himself on that goal line. Metzenaris will not have the boost to try and follow it.
Big chance.
And he needs to start rotating himself back. As you can see, they seem to almost get a call in from Metzenaris. They're just saying, look, I'm low on boost. The third player just thought about committing himself a little bit longer. Didn't want to make a huge costly mistake that could cost them a goal.
Method are starting to ramp up the pressure right now. The ball has been consistently in the half, and the pre-jump denies the save. Magnus shoots low. Really well placed, as we see Radio on the line was expecting a top corner shot. Magnus backflips it right underneath them, and you can't dodge down in Rocket League. 2-1 Method, not the way we expected this to go. Very, very strange series here, Shogun.
Just the attempt, the desperation of trying to boost straight back down into the ball. Almost heartbreaking, but Method are 2 goals to the better. Could be 3 goals, but Cheerio is at the exact spot that the ball was shot from. That is going to be over in the corner. Aero Kings have got loads of time to bring it back. Radio does not want to commit. They do not want to be 2 goals to the deficit, as a lot will try and carry this across the floor. He's managed to get past 2 players, but Radio will rotate himself in. And Method, as you mentioned, just upping the pressure, upping the pace, and it is causing Aero Kings to make mistakes across the field. Mistakes that could cost them a place in day 2.
A back pass is a good sign for Metzenaris, Magnus, and a lot. I did say they've been throwing away a lot of possession this game and the one prior, but if they're willing to back pass, that shows us that they've realized their mistake. If they can just hold on to the possession, I feel like they have the mechanical ability, they have the know-abouts in where to position, that they will be able to just close out the series based on superior skill. But it's all up to them. They've put themselves into this awkward position where they need to win to progress to day 2, and now will they have the mentality to carry them through?
Oh, shot almost went straight in, but Radio gets the save, and Magnus will be denied. Cheerio is going to leave it for the time being, just wants to keep this towards an offensive area, but at the same time also allows Magnus to push this straight towards an awaiting Metzenaris, who had tried to get it away. But still, Aero Kings are around. Solif wanted to get a clean shot, but was denied. Still in this final third on the blue end. We are into the final minute. Aero Kings will not want to see game 3. That is where experience and true grit needs to be shown. They will want to avoid that at all costs and finish it off right now. And in order to do that, they need to get a goal. They need to keep pressuring this ball still in that final third. But now Metzenaris can go on the counter-attack. He's going to keep taking it with him. He's got a lot onto the side. He's just put it too far back, but still the player did commit. A lot goes up high. Cheerio with the save. Another shot can come in, but no, a save yet again. Final 30 seconds, but Metzenaris has put it back into a dangerous area, and Radio and Solif need to work together to get it out of their end. 20 seconds now, 10 seconds has flown by so quickly, and Aero Kings will continue to pressure onwards. That is a little bit too much angle, though, for any teammate to come through. Final 10 seconds. Radio cannot do anything with that. Metzenaris will continue to waste time with getting a block. Radio puts it up high. There's an opportunity here. Goes up high, but Magnus has that one red. Still up in the air. Metzenaris tries to go for it. He's going to put it straight down with the fake. Method take game number 2.
We do have the tie series. It's going to game 3. We said that this would not be a sad sight, and it certainly isn't. Method are fighting tooth and nail for this. A series which I'm sure they expected to be able to dispatch with pretty simply. But it seems like they might be shaken after their crushing loss to Penta earlier, one of their main rivals. And now they're struggling against a team who have been on the bubble in Europe for a long, long time. These players are names that we are familiar with, teaming up and performing as well as I've ever seen them play. They're a very awkward team to play against. Trying to just frustrate Method as much as possible by denying all of the things that Method love to do. They love to counterattack, they love to make aerial plays. Well, Aero, they're just going to sit back and let Method come at them. Prevent it at the last possible second on the goal line.
And I really say that I think I saw it a little bit more towards the end there. Metznaris, one of the reasons why they are so good at those counter-attacking plays, he is just so fantastic at seeing a line towards the net and just carrying the ball the entire way. The pass towards a lot wasn't quite as good as he was hoping, but still, definitely key points that Aero Kings will need to avoid as we go into our tie-breaking game. Game number 3 to make it through into the money at DreamHack Sweden. Who will make it? Let's find out.
And I do think that Method versus Method is continuing to some degree, as we've seen so many mistakes from them in the first game and indeed the second game. Not always resulting in a goal for Aero Kings, but I think that's mostly down to the fact that Aero Kings are not expecting these mistakes from Method. They respect Method a lot. And oh, the double touch so close for a lot. Good initial hit forward, air rolling at the last second into the ball to make sure that he doesn't take too much recoil.
And it's also one of those really scary things because Sod's Law dictates that the moment you start to believe that a team is going to make a mistake is the moment they start to fix it.
Oh,
and a lot
goes
for the fake, but cannot quite make it. Method are coming out swinging, looking to capitalize on their win in Game 2.
This is so messy. Magnus finding himself facing the wrong way, getting bumped around in the opposition team's half. Not the cleanest game by Method, but they will not care at this point. They just want to get the job done. Aero Kings still looking for the biggest upset of the tournament so far. There have not been many upsets, if any at all. I think all of the upsets so far have been debatably upsets. But this would be unanimously an upset in the minds of all viewers and analysts, I'm sure. And all the players here, so much respect for the Method lineup. Accidental bump coming in on the goalkeeper, but there are 2 of them, so they're fine with that. Magnus making contact. It's important that he keeps to do so, or continues to do so, because that has been a problem for him this series, is making contact with the ball when he wants to.
And Aero Kings need to do a good job of keeping an eye on their boost meters. 2 times in a row there we saw players going up for balls that they didn't really have the boost for.
Oh my
word! They need to go for indeed Cheerio.
The timing on that clear.
Pretty ridiculous, using himself and the wall to propel the ball as fast as possible. That could be dangerous. Magnus, crucial touch from him.
3v1.
Here comes a lot. He goes straight for the shot directly at Solif, and now the counter-attacking opportunity, not quite there. And that is end-to-end. Neither of these teams picking up a goal in our final game of the day.
Solid says, forget 3v1, I'm going 1v3. Rattles the post and forces a defensive rebound just to stop him from scoring. After a lot, very, very carelessly gives him the ball. And Metznaris now trouble at the near post. Bar down and out. This is flailing at an own goal, I think. What is happening to Method?
They don't even believe it.
Method versus Method. I'm telling you, this is how they're going to lose if they do. Bar down. Magnus pre-jumps, and he tries to hit his own crossbar and whiffs completely. This is honestly bizarre. I don't know what I'm seeing. Method have to steady themselves and just try to beat the other team. Score into the orange goal, maybe,
and this
instead of the blue one.
This is honestly a reputation that Method will want to avoid. Close to beating Flipside Tactics, but they were not able to. If they then go on to lose this game, it will start to become a stigma that will be associated with them. So they do need to get the job done here. And they can start that by picking up their first goal that will tie up this game. As we are already down to 2 minutes remaining. This time has flown by in this final game. Big bump though, and Aero Kings could not quite get there in time before another player from Method rotated back into the net. Metznaris wants to keep that up high. He's got Magnus on that sidewall to aim for, who's got a lot to aim for. A lot. We'll try and put that one down, but Cheerio is in the way. Cheerio always springboarding himself, and it's over to Solar. 2 goals. They have got themselves a cushion.
Look at the panic. Metznaris opts into what was at best a 50-50 in a position where he's the last man back. Anytime he loses that 50-50, it's a goal for the opponents. And with 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock, I really don't think that that was a necessary risk to take. Now they're down an additional goal. And with how they've been playing, this is a monumental task to come back from. Magnus, good hit to the backboard, does get cleared well. These clears were Aero Kings are using the back wall to clip the ball clear. They're doing a great job to get distance and often side on the ball, making sure to get it to safety.
Really must say, Aero King's backboard defense, as you just mentioned, incredibly good so far. Once again, Solif is up there to protect it. You can see Radio also around, but wait for Cheerio instead, as he's going to have a small argument with the post. You do tend to lose those.
5-point turn.
Yep, well, Cheerio completely out boost. Now an opportunity for a lot to move forward, but every single time he tries to go for something, he is challenged. Magnus has got his opportunity. The ball was placed almost directly at him. But Cheerio yet again in the way, and a lot over-rotates, will not be able to react to the ball cutting across the face of his car. Tries to put this one straight down, does not have the boost to follow up, but I don't think the first touch was good enough at all. 40 seconds, as you mentioned. Aero Kings just need to hold on to this lead.
Now, final 30 seconds. It's looking desperate for Method. We talked a little bit about their loss at Flipside and how bad that would have been for their mentality moving forward, but this, I think, is even worse. Right after getting picked up, they've dropped to the rivals Penta, and now they're struggling against Aero Kings in a match that they need to win.
It's done.
4-1.
They know
Cheerio
it right there.
finds the net.
You can see the joy on their face. I don't think even the Aero
Another
Kings
own
expected
goal.
this.
What?
And
It's bizarre.
Is effectively over at this point. Aero Kings, a bubble team in Europe for such a long time, are about to pick up their biggest win in their history. And what a win it is indeed. Method are going to fall short yet again. They will not reach day 2, but the Aero Kings, they march on.
Upset of the tournament in what will be the final series of the day. Aero Kings take down Method. The looks on their faces tell half the story. They don't know what just happened, but they're going to be delighted. They're in the money.